Exercise A-3, Area of Composite Shapes. Question 1. Show how you could decompose the shape into simpler shapes. Keep in mind that when we are dividing the larger shapes into simple shapes, we must make sure that the dimensions, so base, height, length, width, of all these simple shapes can be easily found to help us with our calculations. We also want to make sure our decomposition is the simplest possible method. So diagram A can be divided into two parallelograms, one at the top, one at the bottom. Part B, if you draw a line here, you end up with a trapezoid at the top, a semicircle, and a smaller trapezoid at the bottom. Question 2. Determine the area of this composite figure. So once again, when I'm looking at this composite figure, I see that there is a larger trapezoid at the top and a smaller parallelogram at the bottom. So the formula to calculate the area of a trapezoid can be found on your formula sheet, and it is A plus B times H divided by 2. A and B represents the two parallel sides in a trapezoid. So here we have the top side 15 plus the bottom side over here, which is the same as 45 centimeters. You add them up and multiply that by the height 30 divided by 2. Following order of operation, add 15 and 45 first, that's 60. Times 30 divided by 2, you get 900 square centimeters. To calculate the area of the bottom parallelogram, you will multiply the base times the height. So the base is 45 centimeters long. The height is 15 centimeters long. Using your calculator, this gives you 675 square centimeters. As a result, the total area of these two shapes will be 900 plus 675, which is 1,575 square centimeters. Question 3. Calculate the area of the figure. There are multiple ways to do this question, and I have chosen to draw two vertical lines to cut the shape into three rectangles. Rectangle 1 and 3 are the same. They both have a width of 1.5 meters and a length of 7 meters. So 1.5 times 7 is 10.5 square meters. And then for the middle larger rectangle, we can see that it has a length of 13 meters. Well, how about the width? We have these little tick marks here to tell us that this side is 1.5 meters. That little tick is also 1.5 meters. So add those to 7 meters, we end up with 10 meters. So for this rectangle, we have an area of 10 times 13, or 130 square meters. So now we add the area of the three regions together. So 10.5 plus 10.5 plus 130, that's 151 square meters. Question 4. Determine the area of the shaded part. Some of you are very smart to see that while the shaded part is part of a composite shape made up of a parallelogram, take away the triangle. Sometimes you will also think, well, is there a more direct way? And there actually is. The more direct way is to find the area of this trapezoid directly using side A, 4 centimeters, side B, 10 centimeters, and the height, 4 centimeters. Either way, it should give you the same answer. If I try the decomposition way and try to do a takeaway method, I will first calculate the area of the triangle, base times height divided by 2. So it is 6 times 4 divided by 2, which is 12. And then calculate the area of the large parallelogram, base times height, which is 10 times 4, 40. And then subtracting the triangle from the parallelogram, 40 minus 12, I will get 28 square centimeters. Number 5. A motel has a pool surrounded by a tile space. Determine the area of the tile space. So I can see that there is a large rectangle on the outside, 20 meters by 15 meters. And we are tiling all this gray space except for the white here. So we need to take away these regions. A rectangle, area 1, and a trapezoid, area 2. So the rectangle is straightforward. It's 10 times 14 will give you the area of 140 square meters. For the trapezoid, we have the lower side, 6 meters, the upper side, 4 meters. Add them up. Multiply by the height of 2 meters and divided by 2. That gives you 10 meters squared. And then the area of the tile space will then be 15 times 20, the outside rectangle, take away 140, take away 10. And that will give you 150 square meters. Question 6. The floor plan of a sunroom is shown. What is the area of the floor in this sunroom? Well, the sunroom area is made up of a trapezoid at the top and a rectangle at the bottom. Well, let's see how long each side of the trapezoid is. So we recognize these little tick marks showing us that, well, any side with this symbol is 1 meter long. So here's 1 meter, here is 1 meter. And we know from end to end in the sunroom is 4 meters long. So 4 take away 1, take away another 1. I have 2 meters forming the base of the trapezoid. Therefore, the area of the trapezoid is 1 plus 2 times its height 1 divided by 2. This is 1.5 square meters. The rectangle here is 3 times 4, or 12 square meters. So add 12 to 1.5. The total area of the sunroom is 13.5 square meters. And because there are 10,000 square centimeters in 1 square meter, the area of the floor in square centimeters is multiplying 10,000 to 13.5, which is 135,000 square centimeters. A square tile has a side length 30 centimeters. What is the area of one tile? Well, because the square has the same length and width, I can calculate its area by multiplying 30 by itself, or 30 squared, which is 900 square centimeters. Estimate how many tiles are needed to cover the floor. Justify your answer. Well, the number of tiles that I need will then be comparing the total area that needs to be covered by the area of one tile. So we'll divide that total area into parts of 900, which results in 150 tiles. Question 7. What is the area of the shape? The shape is made up of a triangle and a square. So we calculate the individual areas. Triangle is 4 times 8 base times height divided by 2. That's 16 square meters. The square is 8 by 8, so 64 square meters. Add them up. The answer is 80 square meter, or C. Number 8. A picture frame has dimensions 40 centimeters by 30 centimeters. Which expression could be used to calculate the area of the mat surrounding the circle? So very clearly, we see that the mat takes up this space except for the circle. So this is a takeaway question. You will need to know the area of the rectangle, 40 by 30, and then take away the area of a circle, which is pi, times the radius squared, 5 squared. We know that the radius of the circle is 5 because the entire length here, called the diameter, is 10. And so we divide 10 by 2, that's 5 centimeters.